Some houses don't forget, no matter how far you run or how long you stay away. This is the story of the girl in the yellow sweater. It's been years since I set foot in that house, and even now I hesitate to talk about it. But it happened. Every word of what I'm about to tell you undoubtedly happened, and I don't think it would ever leave me. I was house sitting for my uncle in a small rural town called Rensfield. One of those places where the air smells like old wood and gasoline, and the silence feels heavier than it should. My uncle's property sat on the edge of a forgotten pine forest. Nothing much out there except trees, a rusting tool shed, and a broken windmill that creaked on still days. It was a Friday night. I had just cracked open a bottle of cheap alcohol I found in his cabinet. Some off-brand whiskey that tasted like varnish, and settled into the recliner in the living room. Power had flickered a couple times during the day, and I figured it might go out for good that night. I didn't care. I had a flashlight and my phone was charged. The first strange thing happened around 8. I heard footsteps on the porch, slow, deliberate. Not raccoons, not wind. Footsteps. I turned down the volume of the old radio I was listening to and waited. Nothing. Then a knock at the door. 3 soft knocks. And then a voice, female, almost a whisper. Come inside, it's cold. I stood up and walked cautiously to the door. There was no one through the peephole. I opened it slowly, just enough to peek out. Empty. Only the night and the dying windmill. I muttered, "No way," and closed the door, making sure it was locked. I even slid the deadbolt. I chalked it up to my imagination. Maybe the alcohol was already playing tricks. I tried to laugh it off, but it happened again, an hour later. Only this time, it wasn't a knock. It was a scrape, like someone was dragging something across the wooden planks of the porch. I stood at the door, frozen. I didn't open it this time. Then the voice again. Leave here before it's too late. I backed away. That night, I barely slept. I stayed on the couch, listening to every creak, every groan of the house. The next morning, I tried to convince myself I was just spooked, but then I found the shovel. It was leaning against the side of the shed, just a few feet from the porch. Caked in dirt, its handle rotting. I hadn't noticed it before, and it definitely wasn't there the day before. The ground beneath it looked disturbed, looser than the rest of the yard, like someone had been digging. That evening, I decided to dig. Why? I don't know. Maybe curiosity, maybe fear. Maybe something I couldn't explain had taken over, but I started digging where the shovel had rested. After maybe an hour, I found it. A tattered yellow sweater. And then, fingers. Human remains. I stumbled back, vomiting into the grass. I ran inside, locked every door, every window, and called the local police. But the line kept cutting. No ring, just silence. My phone, dead. No signal, the power went out moments later. Just darkness. And that's when I heard her again. Closer this time. Come outside. Let me show you what you did. What I did, I whispered. Then came the laughter, soft, broken, mocking. Listen, she whispered. You left her there. You all did. You're no different. I backed into the kitchen, grabbed the biggest knife I could find. I didn't even believe it would help, but holding it gave me something to anchor my fear. That's when I saw her. Julia. That name hit me like a punch to the chest, a memory unlocked. Julia had gone missing in this town when I was a kid. She was 13. We were the same age, lived 2 houses apart. I remember how she used to ride her bike near the edge of the woods, always humming to herself. Then one day, she vanished. People said she ran away. Others whispered darker things. But seeing her, whatever she had become, standing at the edge of the living room in the same yellow sweater, her eyes pale and wet, her skin covered in dirt and rot. It all came crashing back. "You let them forget me," she hissed. "You went on with your life." "No," I said. "That's not true. I was just a kid." She tilted her head, eyes narrowing. "Excuse me? You knew. You saw them take me. You heard me scream." She was right. I did. I was 8. I had seen something from my bedroom window. 2 older boys from the neighborhood dragging someone through the woods. I was too scared to speak. I didn't understand, and when the news came out the next day that Julia was missing, I stayed quiet. It hadn't seemed plausible, like it couldn't be real. I told myself I must have dreamed it. Now, she was here, and she wanted something. "Julia, I'm sorry." "Not even close," she said. She lifted her hand, and the lights flickered on for a brief second, revealing her rotted fingers and the torn skin hanging from her jaw. "You all buried the truth, so now I'll bury you." The floorboards creaked above me. There were others. Footsteps in the hallway, whispers in the walls. I ran to the door, tried to escape, but outside, the world had changed. The yard was gone, replaced by trees. Thick, unending pine trees. The shed was gone. The road vanished. I was trapped in some twisted version of this place. I turned around and the house was breathing, its walls expanding and contracting like lungs filled with smoke. And then I heard it, the sound of a shovel dragging again, closer this time. You could have saved me. You all could have. That was 3 years ago. They found me wandering the road near Rensfield, muttering her name, my hands covered in dirt. I told them about the body behind the shed. They checked. Nothing. The ground was undisturbed, no remains, no sweater, just an old rusted shovel. They think I went crazy from isolation, or alcohol, or grief. But I know what I saw, and sometimes when I close my eyes at exactly 8 o'clock, I hear the whisper again, "Come inside." And I know she's still waiting.